Two books, one cup, the podcast you won't believe. Where two books enter and one book leaves. One winner, one cup, one loser, one cup, or something like that. Something like that. Something like that. Something like that.
All right, this time, Elton, you're leading the show, so introduce the show.
Oh, my God.
Us. You're the host.
Jesus Christ, I'm terrible.
Gertie and I are the ones doing this right now.
I am terrible at hosting, so just get ready
You'll
for
be
that.
fine. I've heard your podcast. You're fine.
Yeah, but I write all that out, so... Yeah.
Do you want to take time to write this out?
No, it's fine. I'll wing it, and it's going to be
cup.
terrible, but whatever. You're going to have to live with it.
All right.
So.
It's going to be great.
Okay.
Dive in. Get wet. Go.
Here we go. Ready?
Wow, what are you doing?
I'm psyching myself up. I
nugget.
cough a lot like an old man. Psych myself up.
Right before you have sex, you're just coughing a lot.
Yeah.
Clearing the throat.
Significant other is like, shit.
It's like John
Here
Candy.
he comes, coughing through the house.
John Candy in Planes, Trains, and Automobiles with the clearing the sinuses. That's me.
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
Poor Gertie doesn't know what we're talking about.
Oh, such a great movie.
I'm not a fetus.
She's like, I've done my
That's
time
why
on
I'm
Earth,
married to you.
people.
Yeah. Right?
Okay, get in there. Do
Okay,
it.
okay, here we go. Welcome to Two Books, One Cup, where two people discuss or actually go against each other, two different topics, and whoever wins gets a mythic cup that only we can see and hear. Today,
Here.
hey, that is a reference to some pop culture thing, and I don't know. It's just a jumble in my head. It's probably from Star Trek or something. It's all just...
I love that you keep the references, but you don't know the sources.
It's all mixed with bong tar and barley hops now.
There
Just
you
in the
go.
back of
I
my-
love that you just will randomly go, 2 eggs. We're like, what's that? I don't know. It's a reference to something.
Going against each other. What I just said before is Glen and Gertie to bring their subjects to the the table, maybe like
The ring.
some kind of fidget spinner kind of situation where they battle each other, whatever that game was.
Fidget spinner.
Battle
I was
bots
going to say,
or-
like, what?
Some
What has
90s
more
board
sides
game.
than an octagon?
Sock 'em
Yes, those fidget spinners in the
Sock 'em
octagon,
rockers.
whatever that game was. That's
Sock
what
'em
you're doing
boppers.
today, but with subjects that are probably not related, but whatever. To win a cup that only we can see and hear.
Right here.
Do you want to describe what
Oh,
changes
because I know
you've
what it
made
is.
to the cup?
It is Al from Quantum Leap. That is what I'm referencing. There you go.
I don't even care anymore. I'm exhausted.
Okay.
So who had the cup last time?
God
You did?
damn.
I got it first and then passed it to Elton. So I bedazzled it.
Oh, you
Elton,
did.
what
That's
did
right.
what did you do to the cup? Can you
What'd you
describe
do?
it for
Can you
us?
describe the cup to us?
I'd like to, but it's currently it's being plated with silver, but not grade A silver. Whatever silver they had laying around.
Like you walked
mostly
in
nickel.
to the factory, you're like, I want to plate this with silver. What's your cheapest option? They're like, how about nickel? You're like, okay.
It'll
I
be
would- hey,
technically silver color.
He was gonna do a pewter kind of setup, and I was like, come on, not pewter.
Do I look like a pewter man? Come on.
And he's like, all right, sterling silver, and I was like, whoa. Did you see what I came in wearing? Get the fuck out of here.
You're literally wearing like a, what are they called? A cozy? It's just like a giant hoodie that goes down to your shins.
That's a modern day monk habit robe thing now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You're holding one of those things you swing that has incense in it.
All right, so
Do I
to win,
look like a silver man? Go on, sorry.
so to win my, it's a very thin coated, silver coated cup that has been bedazzled, but by the way, now covered in cheap silver.
So it's just
Over
lumps.
the bedazzles. Yeah.
It's just lumps under silver.
With the gouge from Julius Caesar and the wooden base from what may have been next to the crucifix of which Jesus was crucified.
Oh, did you dip the whole thing in whatever material you decide to use, like nickel or silver, so that now the wood doesn't smell like urine anymore?
No. See, look, that... Okay, you don't understand. See, that would have been more money to distinguish which parts of the cup would have been silverized or whatever, chromified, whatever he called it. I don't remember. But so I just went in with the whole dip because I'm like, you know what? I can't afford choices. So just go ahead and dip the whole thing in. So yeah, if you want to see any of the original detail, you're gonna have to chip away. Or
I love that you went into this.
It's a thin,
sorry, go ahead.
It's a thin coating, so you can probably melt it off with a lighter. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say I love that you walked in and the guy kept calling it metalize. Like, do you want to metalize this item?
Chromify.
You want to chromify it? Okay, get back to hosting.
Okay. Sorry, I told you I'm a terrible host. So, being that,
I like being the dick that wants to be the host all the time. So I keep yelling at both you and Gertie when you're hosting. Like, come on, stay on task. Yeah. Keep it together. Let's keep
this
moving
ball
forward.
rolling. God damn it!
And it's like no one's really doing a bad job, but I'm being a dick about it.
All right.
What's even worse is that Glenn has already decided that he wants me to go first.
Oh.
And I don't think he told you that.
I just want to orchestrate.
So he's leading you right into a trap.
I'm one of those people that take acid at a concert, and as I'm sitting there at the concert, high on acid, I'm convinced that I'm influencing the band, and they're following my orchestration.
Yeah.
I do that with everything.
Yes.
Even when I take my own poops, I yell at myself to perform better.
Not enough! It's not enough!
Produce! Produce!
All right. So, via being an influence that I can, as of yet, not name, he will be going first and presenting her.
Oh, start over. You said her Christian name.
Oh, fuck! Wait.
I'll bleep it out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Damn it!
Yeah.
That's fine.
Well, now
That's kind of insulting.
Gotta flagellate myself. I have a whip. Anyway. So, being that I was influenced by an unnamed presence in who would go first, Gertie is first up on the block, be it chopping or auction, to argue or dispute or whatever, I don't know, debate terminology, to argue her point of fact or order, depending on if we're, whatever.
You've done a great job.
You're doing awesome.
You're doing a great job.
That sounds like
Thank you.
You didn't lick the windows on the bus this week. You get a star.
Does flagellate mean masturbate? Because after that speech, I really want to go do that.
Flagellate?
No?
Where you
No,
take a
it's
little...
like when you hit
whip.
yourself.
I know.
Yeah,
I'm making a joke.
Oh, I mean, well, you can couple it with masturbation. I hear that is a thing. So, if that's your,
That's
why
true.
not?
if that's your bag,
Yeah, tugging
have
a
at
whip.
it, baby.
Tugging a whip.
Tugging a whip. That's what the band name should have been.
Yeah, that's
We
what they
should-
call it in Jersey. I don't know.
Maybe you should make a song that's based on whip and nay, but it's called Tugging a Whip.
Yeah, taking a whip.
Okay, so anyway,
All right.
Just
So,
yeah. Okay.
you gotta stay on task here.
Gertie, if you would be so
Yes.
kind as to, I don't know, battle with your words and your subjects, please.
I'm ready.
Waving her arm around.
I am
Oh,
ready.
flail it.
Chaperone. Yeah.
Ready.
Is she flagellating? It's a thing.
I don't know.
No,
I like
I'm
to
a
flagellate
hedonist.
if I,
I
saw
don't
her do
flagellate.
that. Go ahead. Okay. Let's go on. I'm still doing my running from behind the scenes. Okay, let's keep moving forward.
If you would be so kind, Gertie, as to
I would,
non-flagellate with
you.
your answer. I'm just going to start using
Thank
it
you.
wrong.
Moderator Elton. Yeah, let's just sprinkle flagellate all throughout everything. In 1956, Dwight D. Eisenhower flagellated. He instituted
You just did this right now?
He instituted the National System of Interstate and Defense Highways, commonly known as the Interstate Highway System, thus birthing the formidable Route 80.
Okay, hold on. There's a I have to absorb something here.
Yeah.
Did you say interstate and defense? Like it was made for military?
Yes.
Like tanks are supposed to go down these things?
Not tanks, but they wanted stretches of straight road long enough that they could emergency land something, but it also united the entire continental U.S.
Okay. So you're proposing highways.
Route 80.
No, specifically Route 80.
Route 80.
So
We're gonna learn a
specifically
little
Route
history
80.
about Route 80.
Route 80 is
Yeah.
better than whatever flagellation Glen's going to come up with.
Well, I kind of figured you would also feel the same way I feel about Route 80. Just
it's the
geographically.
East Coast thing? Oh, for Christ's
Not-
sake. I hate this East Coast shit.
No,
Hey, look, I
actually,
was born and raised in Oklahoma. You're barking up the wrong tree, lady. Okay.
Oh, Oklahoma. You couldn't pay me to drive through.
What
Oklahoma.
dragged you out to the East Coast? Was it love?
No, I lost a vote. That's why. Yeah. I was actually out in California at the time, and they had jacked up rent, and so then we were given the choice. We were like, "Hey, amongst ourselves, where should we move? Because rent's incredibly high here." I was living with two people that were from Pennsylvania out here, so they were like, "Hey, we think Pennsylvania," and I said, "I'm from Oklahoma, and it's really cheap there because it's run by Republicans." So, and things are kind of falling apart, and everything's flat. So I know Oklahoma stuff. So if you want to come out there and live a little different, and they were like, "Everyone vote," and then I got outvoted, so I'm in Pennsylvania now. Yep.
I
Yeah.
love that. Do you even still talk to these people?
My family, yes.
Oh, it was your family. Well, you said you were living with people. I misunderstood that.
Oh no,
I thought you
no,
were-
no. A lot of folks. Yeah, you're right. No, I don't talk to a lot of them anymore. Those folks.
So you're just stuck out there. They probably moved to like Oklahoma
I had my
now at this
kids,
point.
and I had a whole. I set up shop. I mean, I'm not disappointed.
Sounds like you're stuck out there. but okay.
It's all right. It's yeah, yes.
By the end of this conversation, you're crying. I never wanted any of
No,
this.
Pennsylvania's beautiful.
I'm teasing.
No. There's lots of trees out here, so there's a lot of oxygen, and I appreciate that.
Yes. Yeah. Versus just dirt plains.
That's true.
I'm
Okay,
close-
introduce me.
Okay.
I'm ready to
Next.
say mine.
Next, going up against Gertie's. Is it Highway 80 or Interstate 80?
Route 80.
Route 80. Going up against Route 80 of the heralded Eisenhower Highway Interstate System of Defense. We have Glen with his subject, which I am already disappointed to hear.
Well, I don't know. Maybe it's the fucking dictionary.
Oh my god! Oh my!
No, it's not.
Oh my
It is
word!
the Oxford English Dictionary,
My word,
which
my
I will
literal
say
word.
right now, word by literal word, which I will say right now. First of all, any argument you make against it is in the dictionary because you're using words.
That's-
Second, I'm convinced that it's sentient.
You believe that the
Sentient.
dictionary is sentient?
I do because of the suffering it endured. It created a tulpa, which became the dictionary.
Wow, that is a hefty lift.
You just took all the wind out of all the notes I took because I agree with you.
Oh, man. Jesus. Okay. Wow. So we have the Oxford English Dictionary. The Oxford, no, not Webster. Are we? Wait.
Oxford, only Oxford.
So no Webster's. No. Okay. So you're.
Webster's is made by people in a trailer park. I don't want to talk about Webster's.
That's true. That's true. I met him, and it's not pretty.
You met him. He's a sad looking. You want some weed?
However, a relative of theirs did have a show on TV called Webster. So I mean,
Oh,
Yeah, you know.
He was an adorable little man.
yes, he was
Bow tie.
adorable, tiny little kid that was adopted. I don't know how that show worked, but he was there, and his name was Webster.
Oh, he was like, I don't know, probably 38 years old, and he wound up in the 80s hanging out with Michael Jackson a lot, which is creepy.
Yes, alongside an actual chimpanzee. So, just like a real.
That's true.
And he had a zoo. It was a whole thing, and gross. But
I like
so-
that Webster is at Michael Jackson's mansion, just like, I don't want to be here. And the chimpanzee's over there smoking a cigarette. Just get the fuck out. This is my place.
Oh.
I don't know what you think you're doing here.
I listened to a whole podcast about how that monkey hung out with Bon Jovi. and actually drank and smoked cigars. That's no joke.
Oh,
Yes.
that poor monkey.
Oh no. Hold on. Let me expound on that. Let me elaborate. Apparently, the monkey, in lieu of Michael Jackson hanging out with Bon Jovi, he sent Bubbles, the monkey, to hang out with Bon Jovi instead.
He's like, I don't want to go to that shit.
So he was.
I can't make it to New Jersey, so I'm sending Bubbles.
Yeah, I won't set
they
foot
were on
in New Jersey.
I guess a tour that kind of like we're in the same city, and they're like, "Hey, Mike Jackson." I don't know how you refer to him, Mr.
Wow, you said Mike. It sounds like you're kind of like we were.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
you're friends with him.
Yeah.
It's Mr. Jackson if you're nasty, but so so yeah, they called him up and they were like, "Hey, we should hang out," and he's like, "I'm really busy, guys. I can send an emissary instead." And they're like, "Well, I mean, if you want to." And so who showed
The
up?
cage shows up.
And the monkey actually got them. It actually helped them tear up a hotel room, and like party and shit. The monkey. You know,
Oh my
that makes
God.
sense.
that
yeah.
is no joke. That is
Did
apparently
Bon
a real
Jovi
thing
diddle
that
the
happened.
monkey?
That the Bubbles the chimpanzee helped Bon Jovi tear up their hotel room and party like a motherfucker.
The poor monkey.
I know.
The poor thing was so
What a
confused
life.
all the time.
Okay, so what we have here is all of the words ever made
Yep.
against asphalt or concrete, depending on what they're repairing it with these days. Route 80. So,
A great stretch of interstate highway.
I think you're going to lose.
so I'm
Is your highway self-aware?
I am. The people on it aren't very self-aware, so I mean,
No, but
Yeah.
So
geographically and in some cases geologically, very important.
see, don't jump the gun here. I'm running the
Okay,
show.
Yeah, don't
Okay,
let the host guide us.
So, I'm very interested because you are up against all the words ever made, according to Oxford. I mean, why Merriam wasn't brought in Webster, I don't know, but whatever. It's Glen's choice,
Miriam's
not
an
mine.
alcoholic. No one pays attention to Miriam.
That's neither here nor
We
there.
don't
He
invite her to
went-
Thanksgiving anymore.
They, Merriam and Webster, both intended rehab together, so don't knock them.
I mean, I wish the best for them, but they're not at Oxford levels. That's all I'm saying.
I understand. So the International Highway System of Defensive Driving or Landing on Planes by Eisenhower's that thing. So tell me how that is better than all of the words.
I will tell you.
Hair. I'm going to
So-
go with some German. Hair. Gertie.
Gertie.
You're barking up the wrong tree. This lady has been learning German like crazy. We just came back from Germany, and you were on the streets speaking German really well.
Really?
It was ridiculous.
Thank
So
you.
Wait,
don't bring up
wait,
hair.
no, you can't just lead with that. Can you say something in German? Can you say any? Yes, say something in German, Gertie, if you would.
Take a phrase.
Pick a phrase, any
Like,
phrase.
my husband's body is magnificent.
Or that is not a strip club.
Oh, there, do that. That's
I
not a
don't know how to
strip
club.
say
Sir.
strip club in
Oh.
That
German.
is not.
club. Should
No.
we say naked house?
Naked house?
Nudie farm.
I don't know how to say naked. No.
Oh, god damn it.
Okay,
No.
so okay.
She was doing really good buying like stuff at stores.
Okay, so
Yeah,
she could pick out
I
colors
ordered
and
in
numbers.
restaurants.
how about where
and yes,
can I
knew
find
numbers.
pancakes?
There we go.
Wo kann ich Pannkuchen finden?
See?
I'm gonna have to
See?
assume that that's correct.
We all have to. She could be completely wrong. If anything, when she was in Germany and speaking German, it's kind of like that Always Sunny episode where it was like Flowers for Charlie or whatever, where he thinks that he's hyper intelligent, so he's speaking Mandarin, but he's just doing made up words.
Like
but
Flowers for Algernon?
Yeah, and the people that the person from China that was like sent to be with him was like pretending that everything he was saying was genius. He was just making up words and none of it makes any sense.
That's hilarious.
That was very impressive. But I'm more interested in how the highway system is better than a book filled with, well, okay, to be fair, an obsolete book filled with a bunch of words.
This guy knows how to host a show.
So, Route 80 unites the continental United States. It runs from San Francisco to Teaneck, New Jersey.
That's not that long.
It spans 2,900 miles. So east to west.
It's not that big.
Zoop, it zips in the whole country. It passes through 7 major cities, and it comes within 10 miles of Chicago, Cleveland, and New York City. So if you're on Route 80, you have access to significant amounts of the culture of America.
It doesn't sound that impressive.
Well, hold on, sir. Don't go flexing your words right now. Okay, so.
All right, I'm waiting.
To be impressive, you're saying that what is impressive? Well, how is this? I guess what I mean to say is the road links communities together, brings everyone together. How is it?
Oh, here we go.
How does it differ from other roads that do just as much, if not roads that run north to south, uniting people, like maybe say after the Civil War or something? The highway system after the Civil War.
Well, funny that you should ask that. Funny enough,
He's got notes.
I have lots of notes. So the final portion, because they built Route 80 in pieces, right? The final portion that they built was only 50 miles from another milestone, the golden spike of the U.S.'s first transcontinental railroad. So it is right up there.
Promontory Point.
With exactly. Yeah.
I hate you East Coast people.
Yeah.
Stop being friends. I hate it.
Well, look, it's not our fault we got a proper education out here. Well, not proper, but close.
All right.
And I was
Not
born
only
and raised
that.
in Oklahoma, all right? I can tell you about 9 kinds of dirt, but I don't know what a dictionary is. So,
Oh, boy, am I going to tell you what a dictionary is. Go on, Gertie.
yeah, please. Expound.
It passes. It covers so many of the beautiful geographical elements that this huge country has to offer. It's not just urban freeway. It's not just the rural nothing of Iowa. It's also the mountains, the Rocky Mountains. It passes the Great Salt Lake. There's the Green River Tunnel, which goes through the Rocky Mountains where they couldn't go over it. They had to explode tunnels. Very, very cool. That's in Wyoming.
So yours involves dynamite. Go on.
Yes. Explosions.
Wait, what
If you're on this highway, can you see, I don't know, grass?
Yes.
Are you sure?
Yes, I'm
Have
positive.
you seen grass? Have
Yes.
you been on this highway? You've seen
Yes.
grass? Okay.
I
would
grew
you
up on
say
this
that
highway.
it-
My mother gave birth on this highway.
So would you say that you've seen the oceans and the prairies to the oceans white with foam?
Wow.
So where it ends up in Teaneck is I don't know if I'd call that section ocean, but you can see shipping docks. Yeah.
Your highway
it
sounds
smells
depressing.
like salty
Could
shit,
you,
but it
can you
yeah,
see from
you can
Teaneck,
see water.
from where this highway ends? Can you see from Teaneck the I don't know, maybe the heroin needles floating in the Chesapeake Bay?
Oh, yeah. Can you see the heroin needles? How much culture
Those
and
are a
life
little
do you
too
see
small.
on this highway?
It does connect to the New Jersey Turnpike.
I see.
That is the end point. That is the eastern end point of Route 80 in Teaneck. It connects to the Turnpike.
I've never
Or you
seen
can get
the
on the George
Turnpike.
Washington Bridge and go into New York City.
Yeah.
So
The Turnpike sounds mysterious. I've never seen it before.
Yes, you have. You've been on it.
yes, it's not as amazing
took
as
you
you
on it.
imagine it might be.
No, it's another fucking road.
Yeah, it's like the Autobahn. I thought the Autobahn was like one stretch of
Yeah.
road. I'm like, I want to see
It's
the
just
Autobahn.
all the highways in
It's
Germany
just
are
every
called the
highway in
Autobahn.
Germany. I'm like, oh, this sucks. And I always, like, when I was a kid growing up, you watch movies, they talk about, like, yeah, I dropped the body off the New Jersey Turnpike. And I'm like, whoa, what's the New Jersey Turnpike? And it's just more highways.
Yeah.
You want to,
Yeah.
dude? Do you want to know a dark and interesting fact about the Autobahn? Would that interest
Yeah.
Oh,
you too?
yeah.
Yes.
When someone wants to commit suicide on the Autobahn, they drive onto an off-ramp they go the wrong way on the Autobahn.
An Osfart.
And the yes, an asphalt.
Because I always make jokes every time we drive past an exit. I go, farts, Osfart. That's hilarious.
Asfart.
And it really pissed off our German friend.
Oh, she hates it.
It's not funny at all.
It's every time we're out there, and we still think it's
so
funny.
they go on the wrong side. They go on the driving into traffic onto the Autobahn, and the police see it. It's happened so often that they refer to them as Geistfahrer, which is ghost driver, because
ghost drivers.
there's nothing to stop them from dying, because you think a cop's chasing them down going the wrong way? Those people are gone.
Yeah.
No,
Oh my God, that's so creepy.
That's
That is
horrifying.
that's why you're the best host we've ever had on this show.
Lesser fact, you're kissing ass right now. And and another German fun fact, I was born there. So there you go.
In Germany.
Yes.
You were born in Germany?
I was born in
Where in Germany?
I was born in Heidelberg, Germany.
Don't know where that is. I don't think it exists.
Yes.
You're lying.
It
Army
might
brat. Yeah.
It might not exist anymore, but it did when I was born there, and that's as much as I
I
know
like
about
that
it.
Germany just erases cities. Not enough people here. Let's rename it and make it bigger.
Yeah, let's get rid of this.
Rename everything. Anyway, so
That's
Glen,
amazing.
Glenn, we move to you now. From Gertie, we hear that the Highway 80 it unifies the United States and has things that you can see from it, and it also goes far in seeing those things from it. So,
Okay.
and from what I'm not sure, I didn't hear it any detailed talk, but I believe it may be flat enough to drive on. So,
Oh, I have information about that, but I'll wait my next turn.
okay.
That's details.
Okay.
We'll get into details later. My argument for how it's
So,
sentient, we're going to wait. Let's step into this.
What we're going to say is, what we're going to go now. How would you say that explain why you believe the dictionary is better than not only that, but whatever you didn't know what she was going to come up with, so you obviously believe the dictionary is better in multiple ways. Explain why you believe it is better.
I picked a winner. Also, I love that you get frustrated at yourself as you're talking.
Oh God, yes.
You just went, explain my... It's
Sometimes,
hilarious to me.
sometimes I fight against the fact that I have a tongue in my mouth and I need it to speak.
Yeah, it pisses you off, and yet
Yes.
you need it.
I'm like, move like I want you to.
Margaret Mitchell began writing Gone with the Wind in 1926, and she finished it 10 years later. The writing of a great book, or the making of a fine wine, takes time. Paul Masson's Emerald Dry, a delightful white wine. Paul Masson wines taste so good because they're made with such care. What was true nearly a century ago is still true today. Paul Masson will sell no wine before it's time.
As Gertie says that the highway unites people, unites a nation, I'm going to say that the Oxford English Dictionary unites people through the power of words, which words can be used as a type of spell. If I say, you look great in that shirt, it makes your mood really good. If I say, your face looks like horse shit, it makes you feel real bad. The power of words captured in the Oxford English Dictionary are both uniting and exclusionary. It's the most powerful object created on the face of the earth. And also, I think it has its own mind. It's sentient.
There's a difference between linguistics and a collection of words.
Oh, here we go.
And
Here we
just
go.
to jump in here, are you including all iterations, international and otherwise, like all languages, in the dictionary? Or are you just talking about the
Don't
Oxford
give 'em ideas.
English
Yeah.
dictionary? English dictionary. Because then,
I'm-
by mentioning just the Oxford English dictionary, you're excluding all the people who don't know English. I'm just saying. So,
It's a gateway for people that want to learn English. It becomes their go-to handbook for if they want to learn English. It's a uniting force. Also, no, don't make that face. Screw you. I think that I picked something that is more powerful, uniting, and also has the power to exclude at a higher level. And also, I think it has its own mind.
it has its own
That's my
mind.
argument.
I'm going to need to hear more on that. I heard that the highway unites communities in a way that is allowing them to drive on something flat. You believe that the book can think. You believe that the book itself can think. Go on.
Yeah. Oh, is it okay? So, are we going to do a? Okay, I'll go.
Are we
on.
getting into
I
detail?
want to
so
hear
first
how the
of
book
all-
can think.
Let's do it.
This is a good point. I don't know yet.
This book has been born of suffering and long lengths of time that frustrate people. Through the suffering and the long lengths of time, it creates its own tulpa, which for people that don't know what a tulpa is, it's basically a type of consciousness or spirit created by people just thinking about it a lot. If we all think about Hello Kitty all the time, Hello Kitty exists somewhere out in the ether. So this book, everyone is focused on it. It went on for years, like 70 years before the first edition came out. So here's some facts. Work began in 1857. It was published as a work in continuing small editions called A New English Dictionary of Historical Principles, founded mainly on the materials collected by the Philological Society. I'm doing my own Elton thing right now, but I'm not going to swear at myself. Published its first edition in 1884. It was renamed the Oxford English Dictionary in 1933. That's a long time of people suffering, trying to get all their words together on their pages. So from that suffering, it begins the fetus of consciousness. More supplements came over the years until 1989 when the second edition was published. That's how long it takes to get all these words together. There was 20 volumes. 1988, the first electronic version was made, so now it's in the internet. It's like Skynet. Mm-hmm. So by 2014, it was receiving over 2 million visits per month. That's a lot of people looking at it, so suddenly it's like aware of itself. The third edition of the dictionary is expected to be available exclusively in electronic form, and was stated that it's unlikely it will ever be printed again. So now it's just in the ether. We've created a tulpa of powerful words.
I see.
I got a lot of fun facts, too, but I'm not going to dive into them yet.
Okay. Yeah,
I went to mentalfloss.com, and I got some fun facts.
The mental floss. Well.
So, a highway's nice.
Whoa.
This thing, we've created a monster.
You're jumping ahead of yourself.
Okay, I'll back off. All right, go on.
Well,
lead the show.
While Gertie is talking about why the Oxford English Dictionary is not as good as her highway, you might want to look up the word stretch in your dictionary. I believe that's what happened there. So, Gertie.
Oh, I do have a note on that. I see what you're doing. Oh, I have the word set. Sorry, not stretch. I got set.
Gertie, why do you believe the Oxford English Dictionary is not as good as Route 80? I'm still having trouble with that. Interstate 80 with the number 80 road.
Interstate Highway Route 80.
Interstate Highway Road Flats.
Route
80.
Route 80.
Rooting.
Route 80.
We are rooting for 80. So tell me
Best
why.
post ever.
Fun fact.
Tell me why
the
Oxford English Dictionary is not as good as what Eisenhower made with 80.
So I have a very passionate speech, but sidebar. When I first moved to Minnesota, I call all of their highways out here route, and Glen's youngest gave me shit about it one day, where they were like, Route 100, and I was like, yeah, Route 100. What do you call it? And they're like, 100. I'm like, no.
Glen, what do you call a small river that runs? What would you call it? A small stream or brook or what?
Sure.
What is the one that starts with a C?
I want to say crick really bad to be funny, but we call it a creek.
Okay.
But I want to say crick, just be an asshole on the show.
Why do you call it a crick, Elton?
Yes.
It's a creek.
They call them crick out here, which I believe
I
believe might be insane, but I don't know.
The Pennsylvania Hicks. No, that tracks.
Yeah,
that's
See,
tracks.
I thought maybe it was an East Coast thing. That's why I'm kind of throwing that out. I'm not sure, but it's a crick here.
No, it's
No,
creek.
New Jersey, we go real hard on our E's.
Oh.
Creek's got two E's.
Anytime we have an EE or double O's,
Yeah.
because I say roof, I say roots.
Yeah, I say roof.
Yeah,
For roof, it's roof.
I see.
yeah. The Midwesterners really cut it short.
But when it comes to creek, we say creek. It's got two E's. We respect the E.
Okay. So,
All right, so back to Gertie is going to
Gertie is going to tell us why the Oxford English Dictionary is terrible
Yeah.
and should be burned, maybe.
Definitely. So Route 80 through Nevada, it follows the Truckee and the Humboldt Rivers, which was a corridor historically used during the gold rush of the 1840s. So we have preservation of historical routes.
Oh, big swipe across the page.
Yep.
You just check that one off.
Oh, man. Okay.
Not to mention, in Nebraska, it's the longest stretch of any interstate in the country that is straight. Perfectly straight and flat. 72 miles of ideally straight road, which tracks for Nebraska. And that's really all I have to say about Nebraska.
Yes. That's all anyone has ever had to say about Nebraska. Go on.
I like that as Gertie and I were feverishly gathering up our data for what we're going to do for our arguments, you're just going state by state.
Not necessarily.
Okay.
Yes, necessarily.
Yeah, you are.
So in Utah,
In Utah.
there's the longest stretch between exits of an interstate. You can go 37.4 miles without reaching another exit. And that's between Wendover and Knowles, Utah.
Well, I'm gonna have to jump in here. So, how would the highway system that runs the 880 that runs through Nebraska? How is it uniting everyone with Nebraska, despite the fact that no one cares about Nebraska?
It gets you out of Nebraska.
In what ways is it uniting us with Nebraska? With the Nebraska,
You can get
if you
through
will, because
Nebraska.
They don't care. They don't have radios out there or the internet.
Radios.
So they'll never hear this.
There's no cell phone towers, no radio towers. It's just dead silence in your car as you drive through it.
They just look at the Route 80 and say, "How'd that get here?" That is
Exactly.
Weird. When they built that. It gets you through Nebraska.
so. That is how it unites everyone. Is that they can drive through it. I see.
Well, it's uniting all the other important parts.
Yeah.
There has to be a middle. Everything has a middle.
And you're saying that the portion in the middle is not important. Therefore, it's not uniting as much as you're saying it is. Yeah.
Some of it's being neglected.
Yeah. If anything, it's saying that you're unimportant at any speed.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Clearly, Route 80 cares about Nebraska because it exists within Nebraska. This is my own personal bias that
So
I don't
you
care
think
about
that
Nebraska.
You think that the highway, that you call route, actually
Or rut.
cares about the people around its area that it's going through.
Yes, because if you let me finish my point.
Okay. But yes, by all means. I apologize.
The longest stretch between exits is 37.4 miles. That's in Utah between Wendover and Knowles.
My
So if
goodness,
you
that is
think
highly
about it, that's the longest you can go. At any point, you are only at the longest point. You can only be 37 miles away from civilization, from something you care about, from a place that's worth going, or else there wouldn't be an exit. So in Nebraska,
I see.
there are exits fewer than 37 miles apart. So there must be something worth going to in Nebraska. I just don't care about it. But that has
fair.
nothing to do with Route 80.
So at the very least, it's uniting the cave people of Nebraska with the other cave people of Nebraska.
Yeah, I don't imagine it's a cave as much as a hobbit hole. Like it's one of the
or a
like Little
hovel,
House on the
if you will.
Prairie. Exactly,
hovel, yeah.
where they dig into the turf and they live in a little
But
dirt
that
hole.
sounds charming. I don't think Nebraska has charming areas like that.
They have flat areas. Yeah.
They have
It's
flat,
flat.
areas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
So-
sky and dirt.
So, I've yet to hear why you believe it. That is your argument. It's not that. I would like to hear more about why you believe the Oxford English Dictionary specifically is not as good as that. Yeah. So
Well,
why? If anything, I'm trying to instigate here and hear you tear down the English language a little bit.
Oh, well, I can do that. Yeah, so that's the good stuff I have to say about Route 80. I have more to say.
Sure.
But bad stuff I have to say about the
You can
dictionary.
sprinkle throughout, that's
No
fine.
no one would ever recommend that you read the dictionary to learn English.
Oh, here we go.
Shots fired.
It's not going to have any kind of grammatical functions, which is English grammar is wonky.
It is wonky. That's in the dictionary.
And it is that word is in the dictionary. And words have power, especially when they're used correctly and in certain permutations.
Like I said, magic. I can give you a compliment or an insult.
A handful of words out of the dictionary and fling them at the wall and have something
like so much
salient.
Feces, yes.
Like so much feces.
Exactly. With kernels.
Yeah,
of
like
corn.
when I wipe with my left hand and then I fling it at the wall.
Yeah.
Might as well be the Oxford English Dictionary.
Okay, I see what you're saying. I have a counterpoint, but I'll wait.
So now that we've established that not only is the road flat, it unites people that no one cares about.
Which, if anything, is almost is like a godlike kind of presence. Like, I'm here to unite you, even though no one cares
Well, there's
about
plenty
you.
I
I'm
care
here and
about.
I care about you. I am the highway.
It unites people that we, as an American culture, have effectively discarded. I understand.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But the highway cares.
I don't
However-
exactly. The highway cares. I don't personally have to care about it. I do care about certain stretches of 80.
So
Okay.
So the crux of
That's
the crux of the argument against the whole of the English language is that it's a list of words, but without any mechanism with which to use them and put them in the correct order to make spells. So,
But the highway is a spell.
so
I
we
see what's
so
happening.
I'm
no.
not saying the
So
highway's
it
a
just
spell.
simply
No.
links cave people with cave people. Now, the list of words, however, does not have an instruction book. Were to have one, it might be able to elicit spells. So she's saying your spell book is ineffective because no one knows how to make the spells, sir. So if you would be so
incomplete.
kind as to give your counterpoint to why the Oxford English Dictionary decimates, also found in the dictionary, by 10, by the way, decimate. But how it is better than the Route State International Highway of 80 by Eisenhower. Courtesy.
I'm going to say that the words in the book don't even matter anymore.
I see.
Doesn't matter.
Ex-
Almost,
ex-
I'd
ex-
say
ex-
So you're
useless.
saying your book doesn't matter?
Excuse me.
Oh.
But wasn't that a point you made earlier, that it is an entity of itself, that it is so important that it damn near had to be made out of our own imaginations? SpongeBob gif here with the imagination.
Yeah. Okay, so here we go.
What I'm saying
The
is
words...
it seems to be that you're countering yourself, sir. So
No, I'm not.
okay, fair
Enjoy
enough.
this journey.
I see.
Let me take... I wish I was you learning this for the first time.
Brilliant, also in the English dictionary. But go ahead.
Thank you. That's also... So first of all, this is a book made up of every word that can ever come out of an English person's mouth or English-speaking person's mouth. That's fine. It's useful for people learning a new language. They want to know the definition of a word. But also, on top of it, the pain and the years spent in making these series of books. God, the dog is whining again. It's ruining my flow. The pain of making this. It took 70 years to complete the first edition. It started out messy, where they asked people to read a lot, or to make the people that read a lot to make these things called quotation slips, where you just take a word and give an example that word is in, like poop. I took a poop this morning, and you would mail it in. So they
That's not
had
a good example of how to use that word.
That's a great word, and a great example.
No, the word's great. It's not a good.
It's
It's,
a great-
not great for context.
Fine. Her mouth looked like it eats poop. What do you want to?
No.
Wait, I'd like to
You're
explore.
ruining my flow. You're like the dog. You're ruining my flow. Everyone's ruining my flow.
I would like to explore. Wait, hold on. I'd like to explore that tangent more. Talk more about the shitting in people's mouths, if you will.
Okay, so some people have what's called a shit-eating grin, which is a very stupid smile from a stupid person that's proud of themselves, even though they did something bad.
Smug.
Yeah, so the quotation slips were stuffed haphazardly into bags, and most of them went missing.
No.
All the words starting with PA disappeared for 12 years, were eventually discovered in Ireland. The slips for the letter G were nearly burned in somebody's trash, and all the entries for the letter H somehow turned up in Italy. So this is a chaos theory style approach towards building this volumes of things. A shed was built for the Oxford English Dictionary editors to work in. They were, in 1885, to better organize the dictionary, Murray, the guy who ran this whole thing, constructed a sunken shed, so it's partially in the ground, made of corrugated iron to house the editors and their precious quotation slips. He had holes in the side of this where he would slip in more quotation slips. So these people that are trying to write this stuff out and make it into a book are suffering. It's like a form of servitude, but they're not happy. They have to go into a half-sunken shed where these things are fed through holes like you're not a person. So that is suffering. That creates consciousness. One of the OED's most prolific contributors was a murderer convicted or confined in an asylum. He was huge. William C. Minor contributed in countless quotation slips. A ridiculous amount. And he murdered someone.
Wasn't he in a prison or something, I believe? An insane asylum?
Yeah, he was. He was. They called him schizophrenic at the time. He believed somebody was entering his house and he shot him, but he made the whole thing up in his mind. But he was the second most prolific contributor, even outdoing the members of the full-time staff. J.R.R. Tolkien is an insufferable pile of shit. Yeah. He loves himself too much. He contributed like crazy to it. So that's, slip an asshole into all the suffering, you're just going to create consciousness. Oh, yeah. Then they digitized it. In the 1980s, it took more than 120 typists, 55 proofreaders, and a total of 60 million keystrokes to digitize the entire context of the dictionary. It took 18 months. So that's a lot of suffering to create this body of work. The words don't matter anymore. If enough people are unhappy and suffering, it creates its own tulpa, its own entity that is now watching over all of us.
I see.
So, is it good? I don't know if it's good, but it exists, and it's kind of impressive.
You're supposed to be arguing that it's good, but that's fine.
No, I think it's better in that it's more powerful and potentially destructive if this goes on for another 70 years.
Destructive how? What does it do?
It starts telling us where we can work and who we can marry.
But there's no instructions.
Do you think that AI is a direct result of the tulpaization of the dictionary?
It's called a large language model. So what it does is it takes a sentence that you write out and it's trying to guess what the next words would be and what the probability is. So that's the reason why you say, what can I put on pizza? And it accidentally comes up with, it's okay to put Elmer's glue on pizza. Or it's okay to eat small rocks, like you were saying the other night. So that's a large language model. It's literally based on phrases and words. It's becoming sentient, man. AI is just the Oxford English Dictionary slowly taking over.
I see.
Is it better? I don't know if it's better. Not for us.
The problem is it is a collection of words and responses.
Yeah.
They don't make sense linguistically or culturally.
Yeah.
Because
doesn't matter.
It's just a collection of words. So any tulpa resulting from this is impotent.
Man.
She showed her teeth when she said that.
Went straight for the gonads of the words.
Right for the teeth.
Impotent, but yet still, it's
straight
literally
for the
firing
nads
people
of all
from
of
jobs.
English language. Wow.
It's better. It's better than the highway in that it's more powerful. Whether it's good for us or not, it's better because it's more powerful. That's my argument.
I see. Well, so let me just. Okay, so now I've taken all this in. I just have a couple of. I just have.
Taking all this in.
I've computed. I just have a couple of questions. So, are you saying that the guys in a shed, a he shed, if you will, by the seashore,
he shed.
A he shed by the seashore, that it involved suffering, great difficulty, compiling all of these words together. Are you
inhumane?
Inhumane. Very well. So, are you saying that there was no suffering in the creation of Route 80?
Oh, I guess I'm saying that.
Oh, my goodness.
Because there's not enough suffering to create a tulpa of a highway.
I'm sure some people got exploded.
Oh, very. I'm sure.
Yeah, especially cutting through the mountain.
But honestly, this was 1956 through 1986.
I'm sure there was.
You couldn't kill your workers as easily.
But
that's true.
I'm sure there was more than one hernia gotten there, or strained elbow, and/or muscles.
Oh, the hernias, dude. The sea of hernias.
Perhaps a missed lunch or two.
Oh, here we go.
Positive, I'm sure.
So there is suffering. Now, what that might put onto you, the onus might be on you to distinguish which suffering was worse: writer's cramp, or shoveling asphalt onto a hot highway in the summer. So
if you put someone in solitary confinement, they say it's inhumane and it drives people insane. So if you're just a person dealing with little slips of paper being mailed in by weirdos, and you're like, yeah, I guess this one's fine, you add it to the book.
You yourself described it as pain and suffering.
It is pain and suffering. It's like solitary confinement. I would think they're forced to go to the shed every day for like 8 hours at least, if not longer.
Yes.
While they like sit there working, and another piece of paper drops on them from the hole in the wall above them and drops on their table.
Like a vending machine.
The piece of paper
like $1.
was a picture of like a hot lady.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, or like a dick? Yeah, sure.
So there may have been sex involved. I understand. Yes.
There might have been sex. Oh, yeah. That was a sex shed for sure.
Yeah.
Those guys were getting real wet in there.
Bearded
for
men
sure.
with multiple
Absolutely.
layers of clothing. No doubt there were sex to be had.
Exactly.
Yes.
Putting words in alphabetical order.
It drives you crazy.
Jerk each other off?
They jerked each other out.
No.
Yeah, they did. They were probably flagellating and masturbating all the time in that place.
Now, Gertie.
Someone gets a word like succulent and like, oh God, Phil, take off one of your 3 layers of clothing.
Boys, is anyone getting a vibe from this word moist? I believe so.
Exactly. And then there's like Steven. Moist. I was waiting for that one to come all week. And then they just start all kissing.
Now, Gertie, I have a question regarding your points. How is Route 80 International Highway System of the Stars different? Courtesy of Eisenhower, by Eisenhower, for Eisenhower. Would you?
Do you think he's the first person to go down the highway from one side of the country to the other? Just him by himself in a car?
I think he was the first person to say, Nebraska, I didn't know you were there.
Sure.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
So, would you please explain how Route 80 International Mystery Highway of the Stars is different from any other highway in the world?
Ooh, even the Autobahn?
Yes. Even the German-named Autobahn, for some reason, named German word.
Yep.
That which is not in the English dictionary, but whatever.
It might be.
It might be.
It's probably.
I can fucking look it up right now if I wanted to. All right. You talk and I'll find out if it's
Okay.
actually part of the...
So- Go on.
So it is not the longest interstate highway. That's still I-90, but it does cross through many different geographical
I see.
areas of the country.
So you're saying the scenery.
We have a max elevation of 8,640 feet above sea level. Funny enough, it's in Wyoming. That surprised me. Because Wyoming is, flat grass. It passes through the Red Desert over the Continental Divide, actually twice.
No, for Christ's sake.
Because there are 2 ridges of the Rocky Mountains that split Wyoming.
Or traverse, if you will. Yes. Go on.
Sure.
That's a word you can find in the Oxford
But
English
Rocky
Dictionary.
Mountains split, and it forms the Endorheic Great Divide Basin, which is an area from which water cannot drain. It can only evaporate.
I see.
And that's really...
Like you're throwing in other facts.
Water usage.
Well,
That's-
that's my argument.
and these are how
is
they-
that It's touching these geographical and, in some cases like this, geological things that we have in our country.
I see.
Okay.
This
Okay.
big, huge country. We go through the Rocky Mountains. We go over canyons in Utah. We see the urban stretches of San Francisco and Teaneck, New Jersey. We see
Teaneck again, yes.
We see the salt. We see the great salt
I see.
of Utah.
I see. So,
We see from sea to shining sea.
I see.
All of the beautiful things that come in this country. And I do have a closing argument
Oh,
here it goes.
absolutely. Yes, let's hear it.
To
Pearl.
our geological study.
This is
Are we ready
ridiculous.
for closing
Okay.
arguments, or do we have
Oh, no, we're not doing it yet.
Okay,
The host
then
has to tell us. All right, fine.
Well, no.
Also, the word Autobahn is in the Oxford English Dictionary.
Oh, my stars
there
in
is
heaven.
one meaning... Oh, oh, it doesn't say. God damn it.
Yeah,
But anyways, yes, it's in there.
I was on you for that journey, and I felt the ending didn't fulfill what I needed it to fulfill. So, thank you for that journey, though. With Autobahn.
Ooh. Damn it. I know. It didn't. The thing is, you got to pay for the Oxford English Dictionary, so it won't show me what it says. It's not free. So it says, yes, it's in here. Pay up, and you can see what the definition is of Autobahn.
Okay, so, Glenn, final arguments. Final best shot here as to why it's the bestest with all the words in the book. Words.
The words themselves don't matter. It's useful to some people. It's boring if you're the kind of person that sits around reading it. If you own one in your home, you're a dork. But, one of the 20 volumes. But the thing is, human beings started by creating fire to support themselves. But then they eventually, with tools, learned to expand and create cities and create cultures and create entire universe of ideas, which turned into the Oxford English Dictionary, which was so expansive and created in such a haphazard, ugly way with a lot of suffering and everything that it created something that has its own mind, its own sense of itself, that turned into AI, which I only realized while we were talking. That's a great argument point.
Yeah.
So, AI is
Shot
a large
fired,
language
shot
model which is based on words and sentences and the probabilities of the next word making sense or whatever. So, yes, we've created a monster that will dominate us and destroy us. Is it good for us? Like I said before, no. But is it the most powerful, awesome thing that human beings can create? Yes. Is it better than a highway? I believe it is.
Great.
That's my closing argument.
I understand. That great points made. And
Thank you.
You did that all without stuttering. We are very proud.
Well, I've had a couple of White Claws.
That's fair
and
enough.
the words
Smooth
come
you
out
I understand.
loquaciously.
Now, Gertie, your final closing argument thingy about the highway
Yeah,
stuff
fight for it.
and the 80s.
Fight for it.
Yes, the Eisenhower's best 80.
This is a fight. This is beautiful.
This is a fight.
If you want to argue linguistics, this is a great example.
She won't have sex with me for 3 weeks after this. I'm not going to see that puss.
Oh, no. You're not going to have sex with me, but I'm going to have sex with you.
Just slamming on top of me. Angrily, I'm like, I'm scared. Like, shut up, you little puss.
Shut up and read your dictionary, you little nerd.
Oh, man. This took a turn.
Yeah, it took a big turn.
This is the spirit of why we do.
Okay, here we go. She's doing it.
All right.
Okay.
Here comes the
So,
speech, yes.
John McPhee wrote Annals of the Former World, which won a Pulitzer Prize in 1999.
Probably used words.
Within it, he did discuss a lot of the formation of the continent of North America. Right, so that was his specialty, and he had a discussion with Princeton geologist Kenneth Jeffries.
Doesn't matter. I mean, you're doing it, Elton, right now. You could get mad at yourself.
I
Fuck! And then
won't
say it
do that
again.
because I have a self-esteem.
Okay.
So,
I find it best to get a running start. Go ahead.
so this is what he had to say. What about Interstate 80? I asked him. It goes the distance. How would it be? Absorbing, he said. And he mused aloud. After 80 crosses the border fault, it pussyfoots along on more anal until that leveled up the fingers of the cold melt hills. It does a similar dance with glacial debris in parts of Pennsylvania. It needs no assistance on the crater. It climbs a ramp to the Rockies and a fault-block staircase up the front of the Sierra. It is geologically shrewd. It was the root of animal migration and of human history that followed. It avoids melodrama, avoids the Grand Canyons, the Jackson Holes, the geologic operas of the country, but it would surely be a sound experience of the big picture the construction, the components of the continent.
That's a powerful argument.
Yes,
the expression of human will as made as road.
Yes.
The messiness. The tippy tap. The dancing.
Yes.
The pussyfoot.
Pussyfoot.
If you will. The pussyfoot. Okay, so we got one that's an expression of humankind as the canvas of road. Another, the expression of humans' ability to destroy itself through the power of words. Elton, you get to decide.
How did we get here?
I don't know. I didn't plan any of this. I mean, the AI thing only came up while we were talking. But it's a great point.
So let me get my...
Your expression
Let me
of
get my
human
announcer.
will through the road.
Let me get my announcer voice on.
Okay.
What
we
the
go.
hell do I do with that? Well,
Yeah, this is a problem for you. Who's going to get the coveted cup, which is already
yes,
dipped?
It's already dipped in the thinnest film of silver you'll ever see in your life. It's almost translucent,
Yeah.
but whatever.
Yeah.
It's the best dipping of silver $6 can buy. So,
$6. That's not silver then.
that was the entire process. So not even $6 worth of silver is on it. So
I love that it's just mostly rocks melted down with like just a drop of silver poured on top.
It's like cadmium. So body.
Yeah, I don't know science.
So if it's dipped in cadmium, so you pick it up and just dip it.
Do you really? Why do you know that? Let Elton decide.
This is why I'm going up against it.
so
You know, like hanging out with you. I will possess you come spring. A year from now.
okay.
Okay, Elton.
So taking both of your arguments into consideration. All right. While the highway is important, and the Oxford English Dictionary is important, I would say that given today, where these two, obviously they were compared today, but given today's culture and the world we live in today, is the only thing I can say.
We're both just staring at each other. Sorry, we're both just staring like, who's going to win? Who's going to win? Who's going to win? Like we're dead silent, just waiting for you to stop talking and tell us who's going to win. Sorry. Okay, so go on. Continue.
I would say that, unfortunately, only one person said that what their subject. God damn it! Stop. Only one person said that their subject is still usable and working today. Frequently. I'm trying to search for words that are in that dictionary. Now, Glen said that it is irrelevant today. At least half a dozen times I should have played a number song. However, Route 80 is in use today. So, I would say that despite the words that were probably used in the making of Route 80 and all the cursing and the pulled shoulders and hernias that surely came about because of its creation, I would say that despite them using all those words, the Oxford English Dictionary was not in any of those workers' houses. So, I would have to say the Route 80 cement flatness of the Eisenhower jam is the winner, maybe. Yes.
Oh, God damn it. This is one of those things where when a judge makes his judgment, you don't question it. It's just part of the process. It's a flawed process. Justice system is a flawed process, but we have to honor it and not argue. So I'm not arguing that it's a flawed process and that it's flawed, but fine. I'll recognize you've made your judgment, though it's flawed. Yeah. Oh, you should make an AI song for saying flawed 8 times.
Given the results I don't expect any fighting over the cup, as so many people have throughout history. I don't want to see any murders happen on its behalf. So
I love that we've only done like maybe 3 episodes, and I don't remember if I've ever gotten
You've
the cup.
never won.
I've never won the cup.
You've never won.
Is this a theme where I never win? Is this a thing we run with?
That would be really funny.
Even if I'm like, so Jesus Christ came down on the mount, and like I have this whole thing, and everyone's like, you lose again, penis.
You lose to a squash tulip I found on the sidewalk.
It's Elton. Like I just want to argue for like I don't know, like a really sweet dog turd, and I'm like, but
Look
I'm
at
talking
its
about
shape,
Jesus
though.
Christ, this entire life story. Like,
Yeah.
no, I win, you lose.
Yeah. Even though it's not a visual medium, like, and you really just have to see the dog turd to
You
get
have
it.
to describe it like the
Yeah.
marbling in this dog turd.
The
is so
marbling.
nice.
The marbling.
Wait, so Gertie still has the cup, yes?
You're gonna.
Well, you
No,
got
I
the
have the
cup
cup.
now.
I have the
You're
cup.
gonna-
Right.
Yeah,
I
you
mean,
have the
of
cup,
course
and
I
you're
have the
gonna
cup.
send
It's
it on
right
back.
here.
Yeah.
So you've dipped it in precious metals.
That's right.
And now Gertie's going to get
Precious nickel.
I completely forgot because
to
I'm in
which
awe of
I
it
have
so
an
much.
allergy.
It just
Yeah.
washes over me all the time, and I
it.
just
I think
go
if
on.
I ever actually win the cup, I am going to glue myself to it
That's fair enough.
so that whoever owns the cup has me in their house and has to
So
feed me.
that'll just be me and Elton shuttling you back and forth.
Probably,
that
since
was-
no one's going to let me win.
Unfortunately, I mean that's happened many times throughout its history. The last being Charlemagne to glue himself to
He had the cup.
Yeah, that's why Christianity took over Europe. It's really an unfortunate twist of
And
events.
at some point in history, just a guy named Kent. He's like, weird, I found this thing. I don't like it. I'm gonna go put it at the Goodwill. So he got rid of it after a while.
And that's why we have it.
It reeks like piss, and I can't figure
Yeah.
out why.
It's just deep in that wood.
All right, well, wrap up. I'm still basically controlling the show. Wrap up the show.
Even though you'll never win it.
Yes. So,
The show you'll
unfortunately,
never
Glenn
win.
is today's cup loser thingy person, contestant. It's not a
Cupless.
contest. It's an argument. Whatever. So with that, we'll end today's 2 books, 1 cup, and say thank you for not playing and just listening to people that are playing.
We're so grateful that no one joins in.
So
There's 27 people on the call.
That would be
just
fun.
like yelling
Yeah.
at each other.
Yeah.
thank you for
I
simply
think
wearing,
peanuts are better. Pokemon cards.
Thank you for simply listening through some kind of listening device of some kind. Well done. So,
Well done.
with that, we conclude this episode of 2 books, 1 cup.
Nice work.
Yay!
That was fucking terrible.